Welcome to ZOOMERTIMES TV. And here's your host, Anita Finley.
Oh boy, I am so filled up with excitement. Of course, you heard, usually every month we hear from Cynthia Meacham, who represents this wonderful company and its North America Senior Services. But we've been treated recently by the big guy, the owner, the founder, and that's Joe Maglioli. Let's see, Battaglia, right?
Joe Battaglia. It's a cut. Joe Battaglia.
Battaglia, right, Joe Battaglia. I should know that since my daughter-in-law is Bologna. You know, all these Italian names are Battaglia. Okay, so Joe is here with us because we have some very exciting news. So why don't you take it away, Joe? And Cynthia, tell everybody, before we get into the Medicare, tell everybody what they can mark on their calendar and be excited about in November with you.
Well, it's a big date, November 16th. We're very excited about it. You know, we're having a really cool day, and I know that, Boomer Times is going to be there too. So we're really excited about that also. But, we're talking about AEP season. So many times a lot of seniors are confused about what is AEP all about? What do I do? What can I do? What can't I do? All that great stuff. So we decided to have sessions, and it's really Medicare simplified, Anita. A lot of times seniors are not sure what this is and what that is, what's new, what's not new. So we decided, let's make it simplified, right, Cynthia? Talk more about it.
Absolutely. So we're going to have everybody come in, and we're just going to kind of go over the basics of what Medicare are and let them know that we represent all the companies. We can kind of take a look at everything for them, make sure they're still on the right plan. But it's really just the basics of what Medicare are, A, B, C's, and D's of what Medicare actually is, and what all of that actually means.
Because you know what happens too? They're seeing lots of commercials right now, right?
So many
They're seeing all these commercials about free this, free that, and people start saying, how could it be? Well, we're going to demystify all that, and we're going to show them exactly what to look for in the plans. And again, nothing is sold at these locations, so I want to be very clear about that. It's all educational. That's all we do. It's to really help the seniors, where do we start and where are we going to end up and how do you simplify the process? And that's exactly what it's going to be all about. But most importantly, I know we're going to have the Boomer Bingo going on too in the afternoon session. I look forward to that. I mean, who doesn't like bingo, right? So that's something we're doing. I think, Cynthia, you're going to be spinning the machine.
Absolutely. It's my favorite.
And Anita too, right? And Dan, everybody's going to be doing this.
And I'm going to have to give out a couple of prizes. I may give out my book. I'll give out some stuff to the people at the bingo at least. But I have to just share with our viewers, Joe and Cynthia, the thing that was so great is I spent a little time with them learning and understanding all the confusion. And they talk about confusion, but now I've started watching the ads. And of course, I'm not going to name all the companies that advertise, but now it must be a very hot time because this is the time for you to make up your mind. And it is amazing because if you go to one company, as they say, they don't tell you about all the other companies and what they may offer. And so I realize now why Cynthia has such a strong responsibility to do what everyone needs to know. It's not like you just can buy one pair of shoes. You may want different kinds of pair of shoes. But if you go to one place that has just certain shoes, they're not going to tell you to go down the street or go a mile away. And that's what Cynthia does. And she's done it for over 12 years. And Joe, of course, being the founder, he is really right there. He makes sure that everything's done. And it's not just done here in South Florida. If you go up north or you have friends out in the West, wherever it is, this company will help you. So I'm going to tell you, Joe, that whatever you did years ago to find, as a founder of this company was brilliant. I'm so appreciative that you helped the elder population.
We thank you for showcasing us. That's what it's all about. It's about education of the population. I mean, that's so important nowadays.
And Cynthia, I know that you get the calls. And so why don't you tell us just, some brief kind of calls? What do people ask you and what do you tell them? And how do you steer them away from being crazy?
I just talk to them. I find out what they have, what's important to them in a plan, if they have anything coming up that they need to make sure are covered, dentures or anything like that. And then I really just break down who their doctors, hospitals, and what medicines they take. And then based on that, we have a great program where we're able to put everything on our website, and it pulls up the most recommended plan for them that's gonna save them the most comprehensive on their Medicare.
And you know what's important, if I could share too, Anita, is she mentioned in the most recommended plan, and you touched on this before, is that when a person pulls up those TV commercials, right, from the carriers, you know, the most recommended plan is, guess whose? Their plan, right? So unlike what Cynthia does, right, she's able to sift through all different plans out there to find the one that makes sense for that particular person. That's real nice.
Well, the thing that I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is probably strange. There are a lot of people who are just turning 65, and they may not even have a doctor down here yet. So you keep saying, Cynthia, that a lot of the plans are dedicated to what doctor you have. What if they don't have a doctor? Well, how does that change it?
Well, if they don't have a doctor, there's also within each, depending on which carrier there are, I can actually go in and I can see how doctors are rated. So I can always go in, and depending if they want male or female, and then I can, you know, take that and then break it down and see who's the most recommended in their area. And we have so many clients now that there's a lot of primary doctors that just pop up again and again and again, so I can kind of know from that who's really good and who's not on there.
And location is really important for them. That every HMO, do they have locations everywhere? It isn't that they have a location, it's their medical. The doctor is the one that really, they have to see where they're located, right?
Well, you know what's important, if I can share with you also, is that you look at these, you know, you mentioned the HMOs, but there's also the PPOs where you go out of network, right? The HMOs nowadays have tens of thousands of doctors in the network. It's not like 25 years ago. Medicine is practiced in a certain way. If a doctor is not part of a network, well, they're losing business. And that doctor's practice is all about business. So they're usually in those networks, but Cynthia does a great job to make sure that they're in the network.
You know, people are going to ask you something, and I'm sure you know about concierge doctors, which has nothing to do with the HMO advantage, but have you had anybody question any of that?
I've had clients call, but most of the time, you know, that's a out of the pocket kind of expense for them. That's really not covered by Medicare. Something that the doctors, you know, the doctor's offices are doing. But yeah, I mean, they're out there, and you know, we definitely get calls about it, but it's nothing I can really touch on.
Right, because it is expensive, and there are so many doctors who are so good. I go to a great doctor in Boynton Beach, and but I did it because he was close and I was recommended to him. But do you never get actually to talk to the doctors? You just talk to the organizations, the companies. Is that correct?
Well, there's a few things. Senior Medical that actually goes with you guys. They actually promote it in your magazine. We've actually met their doctor. They've come in and we've actually met him. So there's a few of those Chin Medical that we get to meet. But as far as the physicians, it's just, you know, what my clients are telling me. And like I said, they're also rated, and I'm able to see that as well.
And as you can see, if I could share with you that this is the type of work that Cynthia does. How she meets with certain doctors and she gathers the information. So it's like she really cares about the folks she helps, because you know what, she wants you to be happy, and she goes above and beyond what the normal agent does. So that's why she is what she is.
I can attest to that. I had the privilege of having lunch with Joe and Cynthia the other day, and I was just enamored. And I understand why they're so successful, because they do care. I mean, it was a fun luncheon, but the information that they have and that they pass along, and there's no cost. You know, years ago, I'm sure you two were too young, but years ago, if you went to a doctor, you went to someone, you had to pay a consulting fee, you know, to talk to them. And now there are a lot of doctors that if you want to come in, just talk to us. Well, there's no fee, it's just a consultant.
And think about doctors. I know, you know, the medical practice has changed drastically in the last 10, 15 years, right? So no longer do you have that doctor who comes to your house with the bag, right? That's totally done. But you know, you find the practices now, they're really starting to merge, and the technology that comes into play is really incredible. And that's what Cynthia's able to do. She researches the practices to see how up to date the technology is also. You know, you get to find the rapport, you know, between the agency, right, and also the practices. You know, that's important. because you mentioned you don't want to go to a doctor. If somebody's going to recommend a doctor to you, you want to make sure a doctor is a good doctor. And Cynthia does that, so that's very nice.
And Cynthia, actually, do you, when people are, they jump into something, you know, they're in a place, but they're not really happy. Are you able to change them?
Absolutely, we're able to change it. Right now is AEP, so now is the time to change. If they're not happy with their plans, they can give us a call and we can take a look and see what they need and what they're looking for. And of course, if they travel or not, and then I'm able to go ahead and find out the plan for them if they're not happy. Absolutely. And then they have one more time in January through March. If they didn't talk to our agency or they didn't get in the right plan, they do have one more time to switch at the beginning of next year.
Joe, I have to tell you a story. I told this to Cynthia when I first met her. My father lived in Miami, and when I go down to visit him, he was in one plan. And then the next month he went to another plan. Now he passed away in 2003 or something, but and they give them toasters and they give them different things. And every time he'd be in another plan, and it was ridiculous. But that's why they've now created this system, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, it's very important the way you touched on that. So it really is incredible. But you see all these commercials, right, with all these free giveaways. And I always share with somebody, Medicare beneficiary, you know, it's like they're trying to entice you to come to the plan. And, you know, you look at so many plans that are out there, they give you what they call over-the-counter benefits, maybe $150 that you can spend on toiletries, right? But what I always say to somebody is, what good are those toiletries going to do if your doctor is not in network? You can't say to the doctor, here's a case of toilet paper, I hope you can use it. But the idea is because that's the type of things they give to their Medicare beneficiaries. In other words, you need to search for doctors, hospital medicines. Don't worry about the free giveaways. That's extra. Make sure your doctors are covered, your hospitals, your medicines. That's so important because to shop for other things when your doctor's hospital, you know, that's what's important. So shop for the things that make sense, not those other things. That's just add-ons later on.
And Cynthia, do all medical practices now do telemedicine, or is it just some?
Absolutely, yeah, they're all switched over. You know, you need to do telemed. They're all capable of doing that for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, that COVID really created a lot of that, I guess, didn't it? And it's been very, you know, very nice to have that. But Joe, I'm going to get back to you because you're so impressive, and I can't. I think I asked you before, why did you get into this business? And you've been doing this for a long time. What attracted you to this?
Well, I got a postcard in the mail talking about this industry, and I looked at it and I said, wow, this is really incredible. You know, you look at everybody has a mother, father, aunt, and uncle, and you look at healthcare in this country, it's really a major driving force, right? Every election, every candidate, they talk about healthcare, how they're going to improve it. And I said, you know what, this can be really incredible. You know, I like helping people. I like bringing a product that makes sense and offering that to somebody. That's really great. And that's why I really looked into this. I decided I loved it, and now we just went full force with everything, and we're here today.
And I have to point this out to our listeners and viewers. Joe just doesn't sit in his office and wait for the phone to ring. He likes to get out there. He likes to talk to people. Okay, Joe, that's enough. Leave him alone. But no, that's your personality. You just love this. I mean, you were made to be a TV showman. How come you know, I think if you hadn't done this, they would have found you somehow.
Well, I don't want to tell you because I do have a film credit. I don't want to tell you what movie I was in, but it was an international movie. I'm just going to leave it at that. Not a major role, but I was in it. We'll leave it at that. That's the end of my story.
Try, we ought to get you on Oprah or somewhere else, The View.
Yeah, we'll see one day, right? One day.
Oh, Cynthia, how do you keep track of him? How do you control him? Well, but he's always around to help you, isn't he? I know that was the other thing that
he's always around.
Run into a problem.
Yes, he's always around.
And that's something big I want to share with you and all the listening audience now, is the idea is that Cynthia, you know, we practice something, listening, you know, always making sure you're always a phone call away. You know, a lot of agents, they share their telephone numbers, you try to call them, they're never there. If you call Cynthia, she answers her phone. If you call Cynthia and she's on the phone, she will text you, I'll call you in a minute while you're doing that. So that's so important. And the reason why I stress that with all our agents is because you never know when something is important to that person. So you have to drop everything and talk to that person. And we always let the seniors know that, whenever we sit with them, I tell them, our phone is gonna ring and we're gonna answer it. So I'm not being rude. It's because you are very important to us. And if you ever call us one day, you'll know that we're gonna answer the phone. So we really practice that. And that's what I want all listening audience to understand is that the agent that helps you, are they really there to cater to you and help you? Are they unbiased, representing all the major carriers in the area, not just one or two? So that's what's so important. And I think that's the value that we bring. And that's the value that we strive for every day.
For you. And my guests are Joe Battaglia and Cynthia Meacham. They are, of course, North America Senior Services. And we're very happy to have Joe here. He resides in New York part of the time and down here in Highland Beach part of the time. But he has offices all over the country because he loves this so much. And you've been doing this, I think you said, what, 20 years or something? Forget.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. 20 years now.
20
years.
years,
Goes by
you're just
fast.
a kid, right?
As a little boy.
So why don't you tell us again about November the 16th? So because everybody get your pencils out. Remember, I used to say when I was on the radio, I'd say this is, this is radio time, get your pencils out, but this is now Zoomer time. So get your pencils or pen out so you can write everything down. Go ahead, Joe.
So we have November 16th, and what day is that?
November 16th.
And again, November 16th, so don't forget that. And we're gonna have different sessions going on. So in the morning at 10:30, we're going to have a session at 10:30. And the 10:30 session is gonna be from 10:30 to 11:30, and we're gonna be talking about how to demystify Medicare, what to look for in Medicare, different ideas, different strategies in your healthcare. We're gonna take a look at that, just 1 hour. We'll answer some questions for you also. And again, nothing is sold at these meetings, so I want you to come. Don't worry about anything. Nobody's gonna go and press you. Just sit down, relax, have some fun. Me and Cynthia are gonna be there, so really enjoy that. And then in the afternoon, we're gonna have the Boomer Bingo. That's what I'm really looking forward to, bingo. And I'll be one of the spinners of the ball, not just you, it's also Lisa, right? So she's gonna be a hog, the bingo hog. I know what you're doing,
right?
But I'm on it too. So we're gonna be spinning the things over there and having some fun. And that's from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We'll have some light refreshments, of course. And then in the afternoon, for the people who couldn't make the morning, well, we're gonna have the Medicare Simplified again from 1:30 to 2:30. So it's a nice action-packed day. They get to have fun, get to enjoy it, and learn some things along the way. So very excited about that.
Will you tell everybody where the Fairfield Inn is?
Well, it's right on West Atlantic Avenue, and we're gonna put a bulletin out so they can see that. It's a Fairfield Inn by Marriott, right in Delray, so we'll give you all directions, all that great stuff. And again, just call Cynthia, and she'll provide you with the flyer. Maybe we'll put it online too for them also, maybe that makes sense.
And do we want people now to contact her to reserve a seat? Because
yes,
it only
because
will
we don't have
hold
we don't
a
have
certain
a
amount.
ballroom there, so it's limited
Right.
seating, of course, so we wanna make sure we get everybody in, really quick, so that would be very important. So, yeah, contact Cynthia.
Okay, I'm gonna give you her phone number. Everybody get your pencils out. It's 954-802-0738. I'll do that again. 954-802-0738. And if all else fails, call Boomer Times and we'll help you with that phone number. But you really should make a reservation. We don't want to have a mob there and then you won't be able to fit in. So we're giving you advance notice, November 18th. That's not that far away.
November 16th.
16th.
What did I say, 15th? Oh, I meant 16th. Did I say
There you
15th?
go.
Sorry, the 16th. What day is the 16th?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's very important to say that. So it's Tuesday, November the 16th, 1/6, and it's at the Fairfield Inn. And it'll be a great day, it'll be a lot of fun. So you're going to come back knowing more than you went in before. And if you believe me, Joe is such a personality, you'll love it. You would just, he'll crack you up, really. So, Joe, how long do you actually stay here?
Well, I'm here, I do a 6 month, I tell you the truth, I love to always stay here. So every minute I can be here, I enjoy it. So as soon as I go back to New York, I right away say to my wife, guess what? Pack your bags, we're going back. So I like being here. I'm not here enough. I want to be a lot more, and I am.
Okay. It's gonna be cold up there too, and it's not nice and
know.
warm here, Joe.
I just found out it was 45 back home, so I'm gonna stay here.
Really?
45. In the morning it was 45. So it's
No
getting cool
kidding.
now, but it's okay.
And Cynthia, I don't think we talk enough about you. We only have a minute left, but you have children, young children,
Yes,
and you're a busy lady. You just do it all, don't you?
I'm trying to do it all, Anita, and take care of everybody, and yes.
I know. Well, it was wonderful talking to both of you again, and I look forward to our November 16th event. We probably will talk to you again before that, though, the beginning
And
of
here, if I
November.
could also share with you too, we have a webinar going on tomorrow at 6:00 at night, a webinar. So if there's any of the listening audience, well, they're not gonna hear this right now, but we always have webinars going on also. So we'll be all set. We'll share that another time also.
Okay, well, we're very happy that you all are buddies and that you're helping people, and I'm so glad that I got to meet you, and we have so much fun with Cynthia. So thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Take care. Give us a call.